leaving my job and coming to India. That was the biggest risk I ever took. But the audience is not as judgmental as you are in your head. I barely do any brand deals, but brand deals do pay much more than advertising revenue. He called my father-in-law, trying to threaten my father-in-law to get the video taken down. Well, there's so many social opportunities here. Like if you go to the Triwala, you don't have to drink alone. I think AI will replace us. I think people will always want to know a real human behind the camera.
You think being an entrepreneur is risky? Try building a business in a foreign country. From New Zealand to India, from a small time creator to full time entrepreneur, Karl Rock has built a global audience by doing what 90% of creators won't. He's faced challenges head on that would make most people quit, but instead, he turned them into opportunities. Today, we are talking to him about the truth of making it as a digital entrepreneur and the game changing strategies you need to know. This is the conversation you cannot afford to miss. Karl, thank you so much for agreeing to be with me on the Niya Desai Show.
Namaste, Namaste to you.
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm still waking up. I'm nearly functioning. It's early here in Delhi.
Most people wouldn't even dare a business in a foreign country. What made you believe this was the right path?
I didn't know it was the right path. I just thought, like, I'm here in India. I have so many struggles as a foreign tourist here.
Mhm.
Maybe if I just make a few videos on YouTube showing those struggles, it can help other people to avoid getting scammed on the street, for example.
Okay.
So that's how the channel started. I just wanted to help people. That's like karma.
And you said it so right, is when you think about helping the world and making it a better place, something good is going to happen to you. And I love that so much. From the content creation perspective, what's one thing that every new content creator or an entrepreneur you think gets it wrong the first place?
When you begin, your content won't be at its full potential, okay? Don't start making videos or creating content thinking like your best work will be at the beginning.
Correct.
It's a learning experience.
Mhm.
Your beginning work will be rough, but over a year, 2 years, you'll start perfecting it. You'll iterate over and over and over again, and your content will get better and audience will grow as you improve. So yeah, I know a lot of content creators at the beginning of their journeys worry a lot. And you know what? The audience is not as judgmental as you are in your head. The
Mm.
audience is very forgiving. As long as you're a real person on the screen, they're going to respect you and not worry about little issues if you're stuttering or anything. They want to get to know you, enjoy your journey with you. That's what YouTube's about. Don't judge yourself too hard. Just start the journey and go
Be real,
slow.
be authentic.
Yeah, that's it.
It's so beautifully said to be authentic in today's world. We are dealing with so much artificial intelligence. We sometimes forget what's real, and people want to see authentic videos. They want to see the real you, how you present yourself, and it's come back to a full circle. Most people think being a full-time creator is easy, but I have learned that 90% of viral videos come from creators who have been actually posting consistently for maybe even over a year. So, what is the hardest part that no one talks about?
A lot of people who don't make content might think it's easy and that you can just hold the camera in front of you and it all just happens. But for me, it's 24/7. There's not a moment in the day when I'm not jotting down a note
Yeah.
about a future video idea or getting new ideas for video edits or something. I also think anyone can do it if you have the determination and you're willing to spend time in editing and doing all the work.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they don't know that 15, 20 minutes video that you have curated on YouTube required so much precision, so much attention, so much planning. It's not like you just started walking on the streets and you had all this recording to yourself. You have to process what you just record. Maybe you just went back there hundreds of times to re-record. And I think this is the part that a lot of people miss from the journeys that they see from the outside world. I want to also speak to you about money. How much money can someone really make from YouTube? This was a big question from my audience. And is it still worth starting a channel in 2025?
It's always worth starting a channel because it's one way that you can achieve freedom in your life. You don't need much money to be free and to do what you want with your life, you need a very minimum amount. You know, the ad apocalypse happens every once in a while, and the advertising rates are always dropping.
Mm.
I never thought about it in terms of money either. I always just thought if I do something good, maybe I'll be rewarded somehow, some way. And
Right.
I have been, but I also have a computer science degree. So I could be in New Zealand working on that career. And I probably would have earned more money doing that, to be honest.
Right.
But would I have freedom, and would I be as happy as I am, and would I be enjoying my work as much as I am? The best thing about being a YouTuber is the freedom it gives you. That's what I love, that freedom. So yeah, it's always worth trying to do something outside the box and even start a YouTube channel.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you for answering that. I was just thinking about like a myth, right? That YouTube is
Yeah.
saturated, it's too late to start. But the reality is exactly what you just said. Every year, thousands of new creators break out because new trends
Yeah.
come in. It
Yeah.
opens new doors, it gives people new ideas. So the problem isn't saturation, it's playing the wrong game and thinking that it's saturated and not getting started. So please get started.
Yeah, and the other point on that is the audience always wants a new fresh face and a new fresh take on something. The audience always wants more, and so there's always room for newcomers. My wife just started her channel maybe a year ago. It was just a new fresh face in the Indian fashion scene and a new fresh opinion. So yeah, everyone's unique and everyone has their own angle, and there'll never not be a good time to start YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the biggest mistake you see creators making when they're trying to monetize their audience?
I haven't really monetized mine.
I've seen that, the top 1% of YouTubers make more money than some of the biggest CEOs in the world, right? Mr. Beast.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
the difference is that they built a digital empire instead of chasing paycheck. But
Yeah.
also they did not give up. So people think that, oh, they are making ridiculous amount of money. What they're forgetting is they're also putting every ounce of their money back into the content creation.
Hmm. I haven't seen any mistakes really. I mean, the goal with YouTube, if you're thinking about money, is to have a channel and have a business and build that business into that channel. So, it could be Karl Rock. I make my videos and then at the end I say, hey guys, I've got a travel company. Come and travel with me in India. That's
Mm.
like the ideal scenario if you want to make money on YouTube. You've got to
Right.
have a channel and have a business, or have a channel around that business. That's how you're going to make real money. But I haven't done that. I should have done that, but man, I'm a one man army. I do it all myself still, and it just hasn't happened. But I'm happy where I am. So
I love that answer, Carl. People think that once you hit that 1 million mark on YouTube, you are rich for life. Can you tell somebody who's listening to you what's the real truth about ad revenue?
no, man, the numbers don't mean anything. Like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million subscribers doesn't mean anything today. I've never followed the numbers. I've never looked into the analytics. Doesn't pay like that. If you're coming to YouTube looking for money, you need to be promoting a business for your channel, not through advertising revenue, because you won't get rich off that.
I love that answer. If you had to start from zero today, no audience, no money, what's the first thing you would like to do to make your first $10,000?
I'm the type of person who doesn't look at the money, doesn't look at the analytics. Every week, I just focus on making videos, and I hope those other things happen magically. So I honestly would not know. If I had nothing going on, I'd just go out and start a tea stall probably, because those guys seem to be earning pretty well out on the street. A tea or a dosa stall or something, yeah.
No, I love these answers because, people need to hear the real side of content creation, the reality of YouTube, as well as there is money to make. There's a lot of collaborations that people do in today's world. Especially, I've seen a bunch of younger people promoting their courses on YouTube. So it depends on what you're catering to, who's your niche, and who you're targeting. But for you, we've watched you for so many years, and we just like are hooked on the videos because even being from India, there's so many things that I didn't know about India that I learned from Karl. And that is the real inspiration for somebody who's landed to a country and shows such a beautiful and like both sides of the world about India. So if
Yeah,
somebody,
it's like a passion project for me. I'm just
yeah.
sitting on my channel and sharing my love for India.
So, Karl, if you don't mind sharing, what is your biggest revenue stream? Is it through YouTube? Is it brand deals? Is it something else?
I barely do any brand deals, but brand deals do pay much more than advertising revenue, like significantly more. I only started like a year ago doing brand deals because YouTube revenue is dropping so much all the time. I thought, okay, now at this point, 6 years after I started my channel, I'll start taking these brand deals. So brand deals is the way to make the most money on YouTube if you don't have your own business.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for answering those questions so honestly. Uh, that you Absolutely. Carl, I would like to go into your journey. One of the things that makes your content stand out is how you educate people about things most travels and expats don't talk about. You've helped expose some serious travel scams. Has there ever been a moment where you genuinely felt unsafe or had to rethink how far you take your content?
Yeah, so the more of the scam videos I've made, the more well known I've become. And that includes amongst the scammers as well. They all recognize me on the street now. That's why the scam videos in India have slowed down a lot. I've covered kind of all the tourist scams now. The second reason is they all know me, so the scammers won't approach me anymore. And there was one time, it wasn't like a tourist scam, but it was a scam call center who was calling up foreigners and pretending to be Microsoft tech support and trying to charge them $300 or $400 to fix their computer.
Yes.
Me and my friend Jim Browning, we busted one of these call centers in Delhi, and it was near my house actually.
Wow.
And it's a small world even in India, even though there's like 20 million people here in Delhi. The person who owned that building where the call center was, he called my father-in-law, trying to threaten my father-in-law to get the video taken down. So
Wow.
that's probably as close as it's ever got to me personally. But I mean, these scammers, they're not gangsters, they're not thugs, they're just fraudsters.
Yes.
They
Yes.
just want to raid people's bank accounts remotely, out of danger. Yeah, nothing's ever happened besides that. But maybe some of the street scammers would be a bit more dangerous. I would think I've heard some bad stories about them. But yeah, besides that, a couple of scammers being angry at me on the street, that's it really. They don't want to get in any bigger trouble than just stealing a few dollars from people. You know what I mean?
Right, right. I remember about the call center scam. Not that they probably don't exist anymore, but I remember this where the fake IRS and the tech support agents stole over, I think it was over $300 million from the US citizens before the FBI cracked them down. And I remember seeing your videos as well. And it's funny because I am from India, and then I took an auto rickshaw one time to go to the temple, and this guy is telling me that the temple is closed for lunch. And I said, if you don't make me get down right now, I have a phone and I have a weapon, and something bad will happen to you, not to me. But a lot of people are that smart or that lucky to even get that second opportunity. So, along with scamming, there could be people who are trying to dupe you or take advantage of your situation. And I know that every year thousands of foreign tourists get scammed at government approved travel agencies that actually don't exist.
Government approved.
I want to tell everybody who's watching that if an Indian shop has official in its name, it probably isn't. And I think Carl would agree with me about it.
Yeah, totally. There's only one real government of India, like tourism office in Delhi, and it's totally free. You can't buy anything there. You can go in, and these lovely people will help you plan your trip. It's a wonderful thing, but so many fake tourist offices have popped up, and it really wrecks the reputation of that real tourist office, which is such a lovely place and a lovely experience. So yeah, I've always made those videos to kind of help and educate foreigners. and make sure they have a good time, because I want them leaving without meeting the scammers on the street
I
or
love that.
avoiding them. India is incredible.
Absolutely. I cannot agree more that how beautiful India is. Everyone in their lifetime should visit India. Karl, you've exposed so many scams. And I have seen one of your video where, you've gone to one of these places where they sell the designer bags. Have you ever been approached by people trying to stop you from sharing certain things? And I know you just mentioned about some thugs trying to stop you. Was there any other infamous experience in your life?
No, because I'm pretty sneaky about filming, so they won't know that I filmed until the video goes up on YouTube, So
Okay.
I don't think they really care, because in India there hasn't been many repercussions for these scammers. The police
That's
really
true.
aren't interested, so it's up to me to educate all the foreign guests who are coming here.
And I had a very quirky question for you. What is the most sophisticated scam you've ever come across? One that you yourself were surprised by?
Yeah, it has to be the guy in Connaught Place, and he's still there to this day, like 3 years after I've made the video. Still there. I see him all the time. He sneaks up behind foreigners, and he's made this little device to squirt dog poo on people's shoes. He sneaks up behind them and he squirts it on their shoe. And a few seconds later, him and a shoe cleaning friend, they'll approach you. And this happened to
Wow.
me in real life. And I looked down and there was some kind of poo on my shoe, and then they offered to clean it off your shoe for a fee, like 1,000 rupees or something. I couldn't believe it, and I realized it was a scam. And every single time that I walked along that area of Connaught Place, I turned on my camera until I finally caught them like a year later. So there's a lot of work that went into that video. It was just pure luck actually capturing it one day.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard about this. This is incredible. I'm glad I asked you this
Yeah.
question. He's still there, so he doesn't care. Very unique scam, and I agree that this is very sophisticatedly done as well. I was
Yeah.
in Agra 2 years back, and I went to Fatehpur Sikri. I had a guide with me, and he took me right before the mosque to take the dupatta inside because I forgot that I was just wearing jeans and a shirt. So we're going to buy, and I said okay. And this holy man started talking to me that how great I am, and he can see from my eyes that what kind of a person am I. And I just let him talk because I just wanted to see how far he can go. And it was so interesting because he started bidding for 20,000 rupees
Mm.
to buy that one little piece of cloth. And I said, wow, what makes you think I'm going to pay you 20,000 rupees? And he's like, I know you don't come from India. I said, why do you think? And I'm talking to him in Hindi. But these
Mm.
people are so smart, they just have an eye for the outsiders. And
Yeah.
so I said, even if I'm from the outside, why do you think I would pay 20,000 rupees? So, long story short, like it would be so hard for a foreigner to really, bargain this bet with these people. I only paid him 400 rupees. I still thought I overpaid, but out of the respect for the mosque and not for this guy and doing a little bit of charity. But imagine if somebody who's just walked in there for the first time, doesn't understand anything, can be so intimidated by these people. You have to be aware, but at the same time, you do have to visit these places because they have such historical facts, and the history in India speaks for itself.
Yeah, and it's really only Delhi, Agra, and Jaipur where you'll find the most scams on the street.
Yeah.
The rest of the country is extremely relaxed and chill, and you'll find the opposite. You'll find people will give you anything.
Yeah,
They'll give a guest anything, for example. If the tourist hubs attract all the touts and all the scammers.
they do. Yeah.
There's a lot more to India than that, and I think that's what foreigners do realize once they get here. I'm pretty sure all foreigners have that Aditi Devo Bhava moment with locals and finding out just how hospitable Indians are.
So true. And like I said, everybody has to visit once in their lifetime
Yeah,
India.
that was my parents, actually. I don't think they would have ever visited India unless I had this great interest in it.
Yeah.
And I finally got them over, and they weren't sure about coming. Within a few hours, they understood why I love it, and they fell in love too, because it's impossible not to love India once you get here and you see the reality. It's not what you see on the news. It's not so different from a suburb in the US. Might look a bit different, but there's a much greater sense of community here in India.
People have a very big heart. They love to share, feel united. This is one country where till today, kids live with parents and, grow their families. And how many times do we see that around the world?
Yeah, you're totally right. And I've discovered all of this. I
Mhm.
wasn't as friendly back in New Zealand as I am here. It all rubs off on you because you can just talk with anyone on the street out here. It's so different from New Zealand or the US, where we wouldn't talk to a stranger, but in India it's normal. There's so many social opportunities here. Like if you go to the chaiwala,
Oh,
you don't have to drink alone. Everyone's there just
no.
drinking, everyone's chatting, and like the way the men will sit around and play cards in the afternoon, it's so social here. And India made me more social, and more of a people person. Yeah.
I love that. And then you just reminded me of a very funny story that people might not know if you're not from India. If any accidents happen between two scooters or two motorbikes or a car and a motorbike, you can't even imagine how many people will be gathered at that moment. And you would think, did the world just end? Like, how did so many people just show up right then and there to help, to take a look?
I just saw that last night. Yeah, people helping a guy who'd fallen off his motorcycle.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing such beautiful stories with us. Because we are now in the AI world, Carl, I want to get your perspective about, the future of digital freedom and AI, because AI is taking over. Do you think the content creators will ever be even needed in 5 years? And I know this sounds very cliche, but I wanted to know your perspective.
Yeah, there'll always be room for humans, man, because people always want that connection. It's called YouTube.
Yeah.
The you is us, nah. Like we're
Yeah.
the most important thing when it comes to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think AI will replace us. I think people will always want to know a real human behind the camera. And I
Yes.
started seeing those AI Instagrammers come up in the feed.
Yeah.
And even AI Instagrammers who you think are real. Like I was like, is that real or AI? And then it worked out it's an AI. It just puts me off straight away. I am not interested in getting to know an AI. I'm not interested in that relationship. I'll just find a real person, man. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe the younger people don't think like that, but that human connection is something that I don't think AI can replace. It helps with content creation. I'm not good at voiceovers, so I'll always go to ChatGPT and ask, can you please help me make this voiceover better? And it really does help me. But you still have to generate the ideas and sculpt it and turn it into the final product. I wouldn't even be interested probably in following them just out of principles.
I think for me too, Carl, it was very fascinating when this all came. It really excited me to see these videos. But as soon as I saw the human being replaced by an AI character, that really just ticked me off. We are in a time where AI can manipulate videos, create fake news, create fake videos, maybe just use your face and create something completely different. And we all have seen Obama's and the Trump videos where they are dancing together. So there's a lot that AI has been doing, and people have been misusing it. Do you worry about your content being misused against you?
Yeah, I do worry about people recreating something fake with AI because it can have real life consequences for you as a person on the street. What if someone sees a fake video and takes offense and then they see you in the street? It would be thousands, if not millions, of people seeing that fake video about you. So
Yeah.
it could be dangerous. Yeah, it hasn't happened to me yet, thank God. But I'm sure it will be like an attack vector one day in the future. It's kind of crazy. I'm sure they're going to have to come up with some kind of system to combat this. Like you shouldn't be able to create a fake AI video with someone else in it, someone else who's well known at least. There
Yeah,
should be
I
some kind of
agree.
system to stop that. But yeah, that's the scary side of AI. And I mean, it gets worse. So some of these scam call centers in India, they can use AI to change the accent, to change their voice. So it sounds like an American's calling another American. And yeah, it's easier to fool.
Oh, yeah. My husband and I, we get so many calls where a person is, acting as he's from the FBI. My package is stuck. And the first time when I received this call, like 3 years back, I actually really got worried because at that time I was expecting a package from somewhere. And I spoke with him for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But as soon as he asked me money, I was smart enough to know, oh my gosh, did I actually speak with a scamster for 25 minutes? I received a call 2 days back where this a man from India is talking in a foreign accent. I am calling from the USPS Postal Services. And I said, okay, how many people have you scammed so far? And he changes his voice in a second and he tells me, ma'am, because you're a woman, I'm giving respect to you. And I said, what happened to your accent all of a sudden? Did you just lose it? And he's like, I am giving respect to you because you're a woman. I said, okay, let's think I'm a man. What are you going to do? And he said, I can curse you. I said, you can still curse a woman. I'm ready to hear what you have got. I said, can you just stop scamming people? Let's go and make some real money in the real way. What you're doing is all going to come back to you in a bad way. The phone just got disconnected, right?
Yeah, so AI is going to help them with their job, but there's ways that AI can do good as well. So we can have AI answer our phone for us and
Yes,
work out who the person is and waste their time and work out if it's a real caller or not. I don't know. AI is good and bad. You know what I mean?
yes, so true. And Carl, I want to say I've had so much fun talking to you. I've learned so much about your journey, about all the work that you do, the passion, the purpose that you are driven with, and, your authentic self. Something that I love to do with all my guests is a quirky rapid fire round if you're ready for it.
Or a bit of Karan Johar, is it? Coffee with
Yeah,
Niya.
absolutely. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Okay,
totally.
there we go. Biggest risk you've ever taken?
Leaving my job and coming to India, that was the biggest risk I ever took, but I just trusted that it would work out.
Love it. Any regrets in your content creation journey so far?
Regrets. There's always mistakes you make as a creator, and there's rules in every country where you're making content. Coming from New Zealand, I didn't really know what the rules were. So yeah, I definitely regret criticizing the government. That got me in a bit of trouble here in India. At the same time, I don't regret it because I was just being myself, but then it got me in way too much trouble here. So
Yes. Well, we are glad that you're back to India after all
yeah,
that.
sorted now and I'm back and I'm happy.
Worst business advice you've ever got?
Worst business advice. Yeah, easy. Get a job. That was the advice. I think more people need to take risks. Take a job for a little bit, but try something on my own.
Love to hear
That's
that.
what I was never told, actually. Yeah.
What's a story about your life that people don't know but would love to hear?
There's so much. I do enough of that on my YouTube channel. I've shared my entire journey throughout India on there, and that's the greatest story of my life. Coming to India, getting married here, settling here.
And we love to see her too because she's there in a lot of your videos. What is the weirdest comment or a DM that you've ever received?
There's so many. It's so hard for me to read a lot of them. There's one that me and my wife always joke about. A girl sent me a message saying, Karl, you have a cutie booty. And I never forgot those words, cutie booty. I thought it was funny. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna forget this. This is actually hilarious. Last question for you. What's your one sentence formula for going viral?
Spend a lot of time on the first line of your reel. That first opening hook is the most important part of your video. Whether it's a full length vlog or whether it's a reel, spend as much time as you can on that intro and get it nice and hooky. Promise the audience something. Make them feel like they want to watch to the end. That's the most important thing for going viral, the hook at the beginning.
Perfect. That's great. Carl, just before we end, I thought of asking one more question. For every entrepreneur, every creator, every person watching you today who feels they just lost it, they've worked really hard, they put all their efforts, and they just cannot make it. And there's a lot of people like that. What's one thing you would want to tell them today?
You'll try a lot of things that won't work. It's that simple. Once you get to the end of one path, just go down another one, man. Just create something new. First you might start a blog. That might not work. Then you might start making vlogs on YouTube. That might not work. But maybe you find your feet with reels. Maybe you find out, well, I'm awesome at making short form. You just got to keep trying everything, all the different formats until you find something that works for you. And eventually something will work because you're putting yourself out there in the world and you're taking risks, and something will work eventually. You just got to keep trying. That's the key.
And I do want to end by saying to the audience who wants to know this answer from my side, I've been only in this journey for a year, and Carl has been there for 6 years. So if you compare the journeys, there is no comparison. That's also not about how early you started. These days, people are looking for overnight success, going viral overnight. And viral has become a word that people cannot sleep without. Like what Carl said, if you go back to this episode, you'll hear him again saying, be yourself, be your authentic self, be real, and do things that you're passionate about, and you will find your purpose and your way.
Yeah, and there's no shortcuts as well. That's the other thing. It just takes time and hard work. That's it. Yeah. I know we see a lot of overnight successes, but they're not really. For the last 5 or 10 years, they've been doing something which has led up to this moment. And a lot of that is true with musicians.
Mm-hmm.
A musician might have been writing music in their bedroom since they were 15. They blow up at 21, but it wasn't overnight. They started at 15. Yeah.
I agree.
So just the start.
I agree. Absolutely. Carl, thank you again so much. If there's one thing you take from today's episode, let it be this: creating content is not just about views, it's about the impact. Karl Rock built a brand that not only entertains, but educates, inspires, and challenges the system. And that's what separates those who last from those who fade. If you love this conversation, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and tell us what's your biggest takeaway. Until next time, keep creating, keep pushing, and keep breaking the system from the inside out. This is the Niya Desai Show, where the boldest minds speak the best success stories. Thank you and have a great day.
Namaste.